Anthony Hartwig here. We're joining LaBrae Volleyball for a player profile. We're joined by junior, Chloe Sanderson. Chloe, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
So let's talk about this. You're an upperclassman now, which means for the first time, maybe asked for a little bit more leadership responsibilities. What's that been like for you to kind of step into the next big role of your high school career?
Well, I feel as if since freshman year I've been trying to take on the leadership role. My coach has really been like reminding me that I'm supposed to be a leader, and I've been trying to fill those shoes.
You're someone that I don't think you can escape being a leader with the position and the role you play. You're leading the team in digs, and defense is so important in the volleyball court. What kind of help does it give you knowing that you can't really escape being a leader with what your role is on the floor?
I think it adds to my want to do better. I want to be a leader. I want to be the person people look to.
Mhm.
Like if something goes wrong, like I want to be in control, and I think that helps just with my performance overall as a player.
How much pride do you take in that defense? I mean, we're looking at the stats, and you have over 100 digs already on the season, so you have to take a lot of pride in being able to do that. So, what is it? What work goes into your defensive skills?
I mean, a lot of work, agility, being able to move, reading the court, just having an overall knowledge of volleyball takes part in the position.
I mean, when you look at your conference, just alone the conference and the hitters that you have to go up against inside the conference, Garfield can swing it. We know that Crestview has their big hitters. Champion has Kennedy Caldwell. I mean, you look at the conference up and down, a lot of swingers. So you're put in a lot of tough positions. Do you relish the opportunity to go up against really good hitters like that and try to get their balls back up in the air?
I get excited when I have hard competition like Kennedy or Abby or even Laney from Crestview. It provides me like a sense of confidence and accomplishment when I can dig their hits.
Do you think has it taken a minute for you to build that mentality of not being, scared of balls getting hit hard at you, or do you think you've always had that ability as a volleyball player to be able to just lock in and not be timid on balls that are being swung really hard?
It's definitely taken some time. I used to be a little scared, but I've always wanted to be like the one that could do it. So I think once I led up to that, it just stuck with me since probably last year.
You look at the team and the way it's built. I think there's a good mix of youth and a good mix of experience on the team. What's that like to have a good mix and not heavy one side or the other?
I feel like our team is just overall like they work so well together. We have a bunch of talent and it all just comes together to help with our season.
You're off to a great start this year. I mean, only one loss so far on the season. What has let you guys have such a good start to the year?
Probably our connection as a team. Um, we all get along, we all know the game, and I think part of that helps us win games.
Let's talk about your start in volleyball. We talked about how much pride you take in the defense and how much work you put in. You don't do that without loving the sport. So talk about your start in the sport and what made you fall in love with it.
Well, my sisters, I have two older sisters, and they both played volleyball before me. So I didn't get into it until about seventh grade, and I was a setter in middle school. But once I got to high school, a lot changed.
Yeah, it did. What were some things when high school came around and they transitioned you to a new position? What was going through your mind?
Well, summer before my freshman year, I played a little bit in summer league, and I didn't really have a spot. But as the season progressed, I got more opportunities, and I think I just fit the defense position a lot better than the setter position.
Let's also talk about Coach Kish and what it's like to be under her and what kind of things she's taught you as a volleyball player and as a person.
She's taught me a lot. I have to work on my attitude a lot. I get down on myself, but she helps keep me on track and just being able to come back after losses or mistakes, just being an overall good person.
I want to talk about game day routines. What's the game day routine for you? What gets you locked in? What gets you in that right mental zone before you get into the gym?
Sometimes it changes, but mainly I come home and I do my hair because my hair is really important to me. I think it helps me play better as like a defense specialist. It can't get in the way, so as long as I have that, and then I have a certain playlist I listen to on the way there, and if it's an away game, I listen to it as I walk into the school, and that's basically it.
Okay, so two questions. That one, is it the same hair every single time out, or do you kind of switch it if you lose or something? Like, hey, got to switch up the mojo.
If we do lose, I tend to change it, but even if we win, I like to change it up just so I can have like different styles.
Love it. So then, what's the playlist like? What's that pregame playlist for you personally?
It's definitely all country. I love country music.
What artist gets you hyped up the most in the country genre?
Probably Blake Shelton or Gavin Adcock.
Do you have like one song that you have to hear every day before a game?
Yes, but it's not by either of them. It's called Smoke and a Light by Old 60.
Love it. It's not by I love it. I love that.
Yep.
When we think about being able to represent LaBrae and being able to put that name on your chest every day and being able to go out there and be an athlete for the school system, what makes you proud to be a Viking?
Just our community, everyone is so close with each other and we all support one another. And so when we bring that to volleyball games, I think it just makes me proud to be a Viking.
You guys get a lot of support. We've seen the crowds at the volleyball games. What's that mean to you to have people behind you that care about your success and they can get loud when you need them to?
It means a lot because they wouldn't be there if they didn't think it would be a good game or if they thought we were going to lose. Like we have a good team and they know that, so they want to come support, and it helps us with our confidence.
And right now, you have, especially on the girls' side, a lot of very successful athletes that are doing a lot of amazing things. What's it like to be a part of an athletics room that is just built to succeed right now?
It's amazing to be surrounded by so many athletes who are in 2 to 3 sports a year, or even like I know we have a lot of band kids who are majorettes, flagline. Like everyone is just being part of everything is just amazing.
What's your favorite sport to go and be a part of the student section for and go support when you're not playing volleyball?
I don't really have a lot of time to be in the student section. I think the only time I've ever made a student section was basketball, girls basketball.
Mhm.
I used to go to the boys' games a lot. I really love being there just because of how loud it gets. Everyone's there. It's a good time.
So I guess the big question is, what is occupying all your time? What's taking up all your time during the off season?
So I'm also a majorette. So I sometimes have to leave volleyball early to go to football games. So I can't really be a part of the student section. And then I play club volleyball. So that takes sometimes from the basketball games. And then I used to play softball. I might not this year, though.
Being a majorette, let's talk about that and being a part of that aspect of Friday Night Lights and when you got into that and what kind of what that does for you, what that gives you as a part of how much you enjoy it.
It went back to my oldest sister. She was a majorette, and my oldest cousin, she was a majorette. And I thought it was fun because I never expected either of them to do it, and I never expected me to do it. So just trying it just created a whole new love for a completely different thing from volleyball.
Are there any extracurricular activities outside of sports that you're involved in the school, like clubs or anything like that?
I'm in SAD, Spanish club, and I think that's it.
What drove you to those? What made you want to be a part of those clubs?
SAD, I just really wanted to help get the word out and make a difference. Spanish club just was really fun to do, and it kind of takes away from like the learning part, so I can still have fun but relax.
With Spanish club, I mean, like you obviously learned Spanish in school. How fluent are you in Spanish? Like if you were dropped in a Spanish speaking country, do you think you know enough at least to survive?
I know the basics, so I could probably
Right.
figure out what they're saying, but I probably wouldn't be able to respond.
When you think about things in the school that you like learning, you study and your favorite subjects, what comes to mind?
Right now, it's probably math, because I actually understand what's going on. It's harder for me to understand in other subjects, so it takes me a while, but math is one of the subjects that comes easily to me.
What subject gives you like the biggest struggle? The ones that you have to work the hardest to get the grades that you do get?
Any kind of science. I struggle a lot in science.
What are some ways that you try to, um, get past those struggles, or help yourself, or what are some of your study habits, things like that?
If there's like a certain subject that we're learning and I really just don't get it at all, I'll try to find extra practice online or I'll have my friend help me out, like explain it to me, go through it in depth. Because sometimes the teachers can't really do that, so I kind of have to do it on my own or with a friend.
Who are some teachers in the school system that have impacted your journey and maybe made your school life, a little bit better because of their presence?
Probably my last year math teacher, Mr. Niemer. He always made sure I knew what was going on, and if I was confused, he would help me and actually explain it so I knew what I was doing and could do it on my own. And he was really a part of not like my personal life, but he could tell if something was up and he wanted to make sure I was okay. And overall, he's just a really good person.
We've already talked about how busy you can be with majorette volleyball, club volleyball, all the fun stuff that you do. What are some things that you do outside of all that, just to kind of unwind or take yourself away from the hecticness of life? What are some unwind hobbies that you have, I guess I should say?
My hobbies really consist of volleyball and dancing. I love learning line dances, so if I'm bored, I'll learn a new one. Um, Volleyball mostly. Like I have one of those boards in my backyard, so I'll go like by myself and kind of just relax with that.
When did volleyball become something that, instead of just doing it for fun, like, you now do it religiously, like you play it so much and you work so hard at it? When did it shift? Because you said you've been playing since seventh grade, and I'm sure it wasn't right at seventh grade where you're like, I'm going to take it super seriously. So when did you start to see volleyball become something that you took so seriously and worked so hard at?
I would probably say right after my eighth grade season. Um, I was still hoping to be a setter, but like my path changed, and I'm so glad it did because I found a new love, and I think that really grew for my overall love of the sport.
Talk about, the aspect of, trying to do all that and have a social life and balancing everything, and what that's like for a junior in high school to have that time organization.
Well, for the social aspect, you just have to find the right people who still care about you and understand that you're really busy and still make time for you. Like I do my best to make time for everyone, and if they're not available, there's always more time. You don't have to be with someone like every day, in my opinion. I'm definitely someone who likes to be by myself a lot, but I still need that social aspect in my life.
I've been asking this to a couple of athletes because I think it's interesting. Do you try to make friends outside of the sport, that way you have an escape a little bit, or does your friend circle pretty much go from the majorette girls and the volleyball girls, and that's kind of your circle of friends?
That's mainly my circle. Occasionally I'll like meet someone and we'll be like we could just get along, like we click and it's fun, but then we like kind of drift off into our sports and kind of get distant. So it's kind of hard to keep friends outside of volleyball, but it's still manageable.
No athlete goes through a whole career without facing adversity, right? There's like always going to be something that pops up, whether it be an injury or a mental block, or a struggle point. What has been your biggest form of adversity so far that you've had to face, and how did you get past it?
My biggest adversity would probably be my back right now. I'm currently in physical therapy. I didn't have like a certain injury to it, but like since freshman year, it's just been slowly getting worse and worse. And eventually, like it hurt to stand. So my doctor's solution was to go to physical therapy. And it's definitely difficult with being a volleyball player and a majorette because you use your back a lot and it's really hard to rest it. But I'm getting through it.
What I mean, I'm sure that makes it a little bit mentally tough because you have to drive through some pain sometimes. What are some things that you do to push through that mental block sometimes?
The thought of sitting out just really hurts my heart. So I push myself to be okay. Like I do recovery, my stretches, just to be okay to play in the game.
All right, so let's just say you have a big win and you need to celebrate. What's your go-to post-game meal after a big win?
If I had to choose, I would pick Raising Cane's, but sometimes that option isn't always the option.
Sometimes you don't get to choose.
Yeah, sometimes it's just go straight home and go to bed.
That's oof. I feel that. The biggest part about away games, right, are the snack bags. I love snack bags on away games for high school sports. What makes a good snack bag for you? What can be in a snack bag that makes it a grade A snack bag for Chloe?
Any type of granola bar, but I love the Nature Valley, like the crunchy ones. Um, I love when they put Slim Jims in the bag. Those are so good to me after volleyball. I'm not sure why, but it definitely is a really good choice. And then there has to be some type of like sweet treat, because of course. And I would like a drink in it, but I have my water, so I don't need it.
When it comes to drinks, what's your favorite? Are you a straight water person, or do you like Gatorade? Do you like the Capri Suns? What's your favorite drink?
I love those like hug barrels,
Mm,
like any color, but I love green.
love it. That brings back childhood memories. I'll tell you that
Yeah.
much. One last thing before we go with the player profiles, we always do this. We like to end it by giving the player the chance to take the limelight off themselves for a little bit and shine on the people in their life that support them and that they wouldn't be there without. So I want to give you the time to send out your thank yous and your shout outs to all the people in your life.
I definitely want to say thanks to my parents. They support me through everything, not just volleyball, throughout my whole life. Like, I'm busy. They are just always there and they want to support me. Definitely my friends, because even though they're not in everything that I'm in, they still support me and they want to come watch me do whatever I want to do. And definitely my coaches. I wouldn't be who I am today without them.
Chloe, we want to thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate it. We wish you the best of luck the rest of the way this year, and we can't wait to talk again real soon.
Thank you.